Good evening or beautiful day, everyone, wherever you are on this plane of existence. It is super duper late here. It is like 2:11, and I'm up and I'm doing this live. Um, I just wanted to come here quickly. Before I begin, let me say that I am not a licensed professional, medical professional, nurse, doctor. If you have any questions or concerns about any of the natural remedies I may talk about during this live stream, please contact your own primary care provider or pediatrician for your little one, just in case I talk about homemade remedies or anything like that. Um, this is like shooting from the hip because for the past couple of like past week or two, I've been dealing with this rod and lawnmower. And for some, it may seem like I've been having issues with it, the tire being flat, um, parts being missing, it not getting started, some other stuff. Um, and really for the first time, me having to deal with stuff like this. And it was kind of like a little storm for me, and for those that don't know it, even, the previous months back, I had to deal with, a water line pipe that burst, and my fridge that went out, and some other things, some other, like, things that set me back, financially, caused me to have such outrageous bills with the water pipeline bursting and things like that. And at that time, it was a struggle, and I was in a storm um, of myself. And this past week, but for those that don't know, it ended up working itself out and beautiful people in my life. I decided after I cried about it for a little bit, I decided that it's all going to work itself out. And I would say that everything I have, everything that I need will be taken care of, things like that. And I just let it be. And a neighbor of mine gave me her daughter's refrigerator that was in their garage that was almost practically brand new. And the beautiful guys at the water company came while I was in town and fixed my water uh, burst pipe, and didn't charge me for it. They were just so sweet, because I was having to turn it on and off because the bill was outrageous. Anyway, I'm saying that because even this week, this past couple of weeks, I've been dealing with my lawnmower. I was frustrated. It wouldn't start. I changed the battery. I'd done all this stuff. And I was like, yet again, another setback. I needed to get my land taken care of. The grass was so high, and it kept raining. I was very frustrated, not only because of that, but because of other emotional things that were happening and are happening in my life. And so it was kind of overwhelming. It was a lawnmower, but it was overwhelming. But today I finally got it fixed and got most of the stuff done. Now, what does it have to do with what I'm saying about a storm and a rainbow? I wasn't even going to go live. I was sitting here at my desk organizing things and I was putting my tarot cards away. And by the way, this isn't a tarot read, but um, I'm gonna I'm gonna put the picture of the tarot card for my thumbnail so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But in this particular deck, it was the card that fell out was balance. And in tarot, it's the temperance card. It's the card of Sagittarius. It is the number 14, which is 5, which is change, um, and conflict. And sometimes we have conflict with change. Um, and in this particular deck, this card, the lady holding 2 cups, she's pouring water into it. There's a rainbow, and it got me thinking about rainbows, and it got me thinking about the storms in our life. And sometimes I think about things, I look at things differently than other people. And I never say or speak about things that I don't know about, I don't understand, or I haven't experienced. So all I can say is and speak about is my perspective and where I've come from. And all I know is that out of the worst, I might get a little emotional too, but it's cool. I look back at some of my most darkest moments, and in particular, the latest storm of my life that happened a couple of years ago. I was at my lowest, I was at my worst. I was in depression that I had never felt before in my life. Um, on and off severe depression for a span of like 3 or 4 years. And it led me to this point um, in a in an abusive relationship, marriage, and not just physical, and not all that it was all the time, but emotional, mental, spiritual. And it was in that storm of my life became the catalyst for change. And I hear people and I see people and that think that storms are always bad. But if you know anything about storms, if you know anything about nature, you know that nature has a way of when there's a lot of stagnant energy in nature in particular areas. I'm not talking about the storms that are geo-engineered, allegedly, stuff like that. I'm saying that, but things that how they recreate storms. And speaking of a storm, much love, hurricane. This is a storm that I absolutely love and appreciate. Much love to you, hurricane. Um, can you hear me? I really hope I'm being heard because I've been talking for 7 minutes. If you can let me know that, I would appreciate that. I'm gonna continue. I should be good. It's been good the last few times. But anyway, the darkest storm of my life was the catalyst for change. And like I was saying about storms, um, hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Sorry. Let me just put that in there. Um, just putting that in there just in case. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Hurricane. Anyway, so if you know anything about nature, you know that nature has a way of naturally moving things around to clear energies, and those are rainstorms. Those can be um, heavy storms. Those can be tornadoes. They can be things like that. I'm not talking about um, weather manipulation. I'm talking about natural things of the earth that happens. And then after that storm, the energy is moved and the energy is cleared out. And there is, chance for renewal for growth of new growth of crops and things like that. The same thing goes for us. Um, the same thing goes for us energetically. We have storms, or what we call storms, or different events in our lives that sometimes, and I'm going to say this, I didn't realize that what I was doing in my darkest moment, in my darkest hour at that time. I was crying out to myself. I cried a lot then, and nobody really knew, and nobody really asked why I looked depressed, or why I was losing weight, or why I was this. But I would often tell myself and say out to the universe, I only want people who truly have authentic love for me in my life. I don't want to be in this marriage anymore. I don't want to suffer emotionally anymore. I don't want my children growing up, excuse me, growing up thinking that this toxic type of relationship is okay. And I said, I want change. And I was manifesting this. And sometimes, guys, with our manifestations, people, when we ask or say we want certain things, it don't always come the way that you picture it. I wanted change. But I was staying in the same situation and I wasn't moving. and nothing could get me to move. I knew the steps that I needed to take in order to create change, but I stayed in my fear. I was scared of the outcome. I didn't move, but I manifested, and I was still people pleasing. I was still entertaining people, and that would be so-called friends and family members and stuff that truly, in their heart of hearts, had ill intentions for me, and they truly didn't love me the way that I was loving them. And I was just putting up with it. So I kept saying that, and over a course of a year or two, things began to happen in my life that it was like a whirlwind, and things escalated really bad for me. And one particular situation I'll never forget. I'll speak about that later on, but that event caused me to say no more. And I literally got the cowboy mess knocked out of me, literally. Um, and that caused me to move. Not that I hadn't got that before, but it was like a different, because all three of my kids saw something, um, me me in that state, and I didn't want my children to see, especially to that degree, me in that state. And so I ask. Some people may take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to say that I was asking for abuse, or people are asking for abuse, or people are asking for trouble, or people are asking for things. But for me, in my situation, from my perspective, in my dark storm, I asked that for change, but I was not willing to move. And it took this particular bad event for me to move. And I moved. I said, at that moment, I said no more. And I began to make steps towards change. And then after that, the relationships with family members and so-called friends begin to spiral. And I began to see people just like really turn on me and not even remember the love I had for them. Remember, I would drop everything for them. Remember that my heart was always for them. I'm crying a little bit, but not because of, I miss certain people, but I love myself enough to say no more. But I'm so glad I'm not in that state anymore. But I called out to the universe, and I put that out there, that I only wanted the true people who had nothing but authentic love for me, to be in my life. And this event caused um, different events for me to see people's hearts. So I called in a storm. I manifested a storm for myself. I really did. And I'm not speaking on anybody else's perspective but my own. I manifested a storm for myself because I wanted change. I wanted change, but I was not moving, and I wasn't willing to move. So it took this big old storm for me to move, and for me to see people's heart, and for me to see people for who they truly are, and not what I wanted them to be, to see the relationships in my life at that point for what they were, and not what I was trying to create them to be. Hey, beautiful Michelle, thank you so much for being here, sis. So I manifested that. Sometimes people don't want to take responsibility. I didn't want to take responsibility for the manifestation that I created. I created my storm, and it brought about, it was the catalyst for such a beautiful change. And I have never been better in my life, emotionally, physically, mentally, and energetically, and so much more. And I'm grateful for it. I really am. The worst storm of my life, the hurricane of my life, brought me liberation, brought me freedom. because I wouldn't move any other way. Much love, Jared. It's so good to see you. I don't get to see you except for comments I see here and there. So much love. Good evening. Hey, Axis, much love. So that brings me to this. I don't take everything that goes wrong in my life as something negative. And I think it's important for us to step back and outside of ourselves and realize that sometimes the power, we have so much power. And once again, I'm not stating about anybody's experience but mine. I really felt, like I said, I wasn't going to do this. This card came out, and I was like, I was thinking about storms and all this rainbows. I just posted something in the community about rainbows and storms, and I was like, I'm gonna talk about this. So I can only speak from my perspective, but I think we got to be careful with the powerful beings that we are for giving evil entities in this system so much power over us. We have the power to create and change, at least within our own universe, within our own way of being. We've talked about this before. Can me as one person change the world? No, I know I can't. My energy, your energy, no matter how light you're bright, no matter how bright your light is, it's going to take it will take a lot to change the energy of the world. But we are so powerful. And I think they put that in our minds and program us in a way to, instead of us taking accountability and responsibility and taking ownership of the power and the things we create, we give them power. These evil entities, this matrix, we give them power by saying they're causing this. And then by us saying that they're causing this, we are empowering them with our power because we refuse to say, hey, I created this. And this is just me speaking about my own storms I've had, especially with the past couple of months and past few weeks, you know. Okay, let's see. Oh, I know. It's really good to see you, JJ. Let's see. I apologize. I'm not familiar with what is going on behind you. Just know I'm here and send you tons of love. Remind you that you're not here alone. Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. No, it's really good tears. It's tears of remembrance for me, tears of my strength, tears of me overcoming so many obstacles in my life, and my greatest storm in my life so far that happened between me and my ex and family, and how I'm just doing a quick recap. Oh my goody. Oh my goody. It's so good to see some of y'all. I've been thinking about some of y'all. Hi, Omar. Good evening. It's so good to see y'all. And so just recapping that, and saying how that storm was a catalyst for who I am right now and me finding my inner strength. And so anyway, I feel like one way that we can call back our power is to realize how powerful we are. And sometimes when we want change, we forget about the things, at least for me, I forget. So I forget some of the things I want and I manifest. I looked at this note. This is a sidebar. I looked at this thing that I wrote where for manifesting, and I said, oh, I didn't have it yet, but I was like, oh, I'm so grateful for the extra $500, you know, just manifesting it. I wrote it down. I did my water thing that I do for manifestation with water, and then I threw it somewhere, and I actually forgot about it. And I wrote that last, I think November. I wrote it in November. Fast forward, when I was talking about getting that fridge and getting my line fixed, and then I got a certain check, and it was actually more than $500 for, putting all that together. It was more than $500. And I was grateful at that point, but then I forgot about it. So at that moment, when I was just cleaning my desk, I realized, oh my gosh, I manifested this for myself. an extra $500, but I did that back in November. So anyway, I'm back to what I'm saying. And we manifest things, at least for me, we manifest and forget some of the things that we manifest. I want out of this. I don't want that. I'm tired of this person. I'm tired of people treating me this way. I don't want to be a doormat anymore. And so remembering that things don't happen the way that we think they should happen. We put it out there to the universe, especially if we're not specific. And it's like that energy is like, this is what Sunkist wants. This is how it's going to come about. Or if I'm not moving in the direction that my higher self is leading me and what I'm desiring and for my path and for my purpose, it's going to seem like it's going to take something to shake you, you know? Let's see. Yeah. I'm too lazy to grab my glasses. The storm could raining down on a seed, which just sprouts into a rainbow-hued flower. Exactly. I love that, Omar. I'm gonna put that in my little quote thing with your name under. I love quotes. I love it when I found money in the pocket when I need it the most, like the lining of a copa. Exactly. Exactly. And so I'm just encouraging anybody, really, why I am on here. I'm just encouraging anybody that's going through something in life right now. And I'm not saying all things. Some things are beyond our control. Just be encouraged and take a step back and realize that this storm may be an opportunity for a clearing, for a cleansing, for a renewal, for a chance for you to grow into the person that you have manifested for yourself. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. Please don't give this system so much of your power by saying it's always them. It's not always them. It's not always the system. And I'm speaking from my own experience. I did not move. I wanted change, but I didn't move. I don't know why I'm on here tonight. I really feel compelled to be on here. I should be sleeping. I really hope that this touches someone, because this was nagging in my soul, and I move when I want to be better at moving and hearing my higher self, and following in that direction, because I get nothing but positive results when I listen to that inner voice, to that inner knowing. And it makes me step into my own power, you know? So the storm brings about balance. Like I said before, with this tarot card that popped out, I'm going to put it as the thumbnail, but you will see that she's pouring the water into a cup, and it's a rainbow. The storm brings a rainbow that brings about balance. It brings about balance. Storms bring clear energy. Just like, okay, even with spring cleaning, I am spring cleaning and we are doing stuff. And in order for me to get the cleanliness of spring cleaning, it's so unorganized. I'm pulling drawers out. We're pulling stuff in the middle of a room because we're going to get ready to paint the kids' playroom, and all this so unorganized. It's crazy in that soon going to be playroom, but it's like a disaster. But in order for us to see the beautiful outcome and enjoy this playroom that my kids are going to enjoy, and that I'm going to love that they have that extra space in, we have to get rid of the clutter. We have to create a storm. We have to create a storm. You know what I'm saying? So I see the ending, but we got to get through this. We got to get through this cleaning, okay? And remember that even when we're talking about, another thing me and the kids are going to do, getting ready to do, is every year we do a big parasite cleanse. And I know Ian has been talking about that, which is so, so important. I know this might sound off topic or whatever, but my grandma started me on that. I didn't even realize what she was doing when I was little, but we're getting ready to do our yearly cleanse, big cleanse, parasite cleanse, which we usually do it in the spring or early summer. And we all know that with cleanses or detoxes and things like that, and you're, hey, we're all grown. You're pooping, dooping it out, you're throwing it up, or you're cleansing all these toxins. It's not always pretty. It's a storm within your body. Your body is cleansing itself. It's not always pretty, but the end result is your body is renewed. Your digestive tract is renewed. You have gotten rid of all these things that were piled up in you or whatever, things that you didn't know, but you had to create a storm within your body so you could release it and you can have renewal. You know what I'm saying? I really hope this makes sense. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. I miss the energy and learning how to cook and crochet with grandma. Oh, I know. And Candy was the fun with her. She made things like putting puzzles together. I love my grandma. There's so many things I learned from her that at that point in time, I was like, why is this lady doing this to me? Like, I don't want to take this. I don't want to learn this, but I appreciate it so much now. Big ups to the grandmothers. Okay. That's really beautiful. Oh, spring fever. Out with the old, bring in the new. Exactly. Exactly. Yard sales are so much fun. Girl, don't even get me started. I bought some stuff at the yard. I'm trying to cleanse myself and I bought some things. Okay, I needed these though. Okay. Not parasites though. Effing right. Okay. So okay, y'all are picking up what I'm throwing. That's good. So it's not always pretty, but it's necessary. You know, even when we're sick and we don't want to do anything about it, your body's going to eventually either give out or going to push them toxins and everything out of you. And it's not going to be pretty, but then you're going to be like, oh, God, I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad. So just remember, you can either look at it. There's two ways of looking at. Oh, I have quotes. I have quotes. Hold on. And I'm about to get off of here. It's already almost 30 minutes. Okay. Here are my two quotes. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but learning to dance in the rain. I like that. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but learning to dance in the rain. And even in the middle of the storm, there is beauty. There is love. And I always say this because people have told me this on panels. Sun kiss, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. Honey, and my response is, yes, it is always rainbows and butterflies to me, because just because the storm is happening, my rainbow is my higher self and that self-love and that love that I have inside of me from people that love me unconditionally, you know, it's always there. So just because I'm going through a dark time in my life, that doesn't mean the people that truly love me or, they don't love me. My rainbows aren't there. I just can't, just because I can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So it is always rainbows and butterflies with me. And that's exactly what I told them. I might be at a point where I can't see my rainbow, but my rainbow, that love is always there. So sometimes you find happiness in your storm. You know what I'm saying? Dance in it. Here's the second quote. There are two kinds of people: the ones that during a rainstorm just feel wet, and those that dance in the rain and they feel it. I love that. I love dancing in the rain. I love it. I love it. I love having my kids dance in the rain. I used to not be that way. I used to be so rigid, and I used to be like, many, many, many years ago. But my children have taught me to let loose and let my inner child flow some. So we have danced in the rain, and now I love dancing in the rain. So anyway, I'm gonna get ready to get off of here. Let's see. Michelle said, exactly. Our bodies need a good energy flush periodically. It's like resetting a water. Exactly. Exactly. We all need that change. We all need that change, and we all need that push. Some of us need that push. I know for in many situations in times past for me, I needed a push because I was ignoring my higher self. I was ignoring the synchronicities. I was ignoring because I was fearful. And so I needed a push. And sometimes that push will come and get you in a way that you were like, oh my, after it was all, well, even during it, I sat down and I said, because I was crying and I was like, I wanted this. I'm not saying I wanted exactly what happened to me, but I wanted the change and I wasn't moving. And so this is how the change had to be. Let's see. Live in the now. That's all in the present, not the past. I love that. Dancing in the rain sounds beautiful. It is beautiful. It's so much fun. And then having my silly little kids run around, it makes me feel like a little kid again. I love it. Makes me feel like a little kid again. When I'm dancing in the rain, I used to run and go get an umbrella. I didn't want to do that. I cover me up. I run. No, I take it in. It's so beautiful. It's so refreshing. And even our body, like when we cry, it is a renewal of our soul. It's a renewing, a cleansing, a washing of our soul. There is one song that I absolutely love by Life Jennings, and it's, dang, what's it called? I think it's called Cry. I may mention of this before, but he says this line, I'm probably saying it wrong, but he's like, there's nothing wrong with crying. Anybody that says that's wrong, they're lying. Crying is like taking your soul to the laundromat. Crying is like it's pushing out all that stagnant energy. Have you ever been so mad or so sad or so mad that all you can do is cry? Tears just flow, and you like, I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because I'm so mad. I've done that before. It's because it's that energy that is pushing out of me. That energy is pushing out of me. And then of course I cry because I'm happy. I cry because I'm sad. And sometimes we need that. Let's see. Like around 3 a.m. for whatever random reason. I felt the pull too. For some reason, for the past week, I've been thinking about when I was about 6 or 7 years old, living in Big Bear. Oh, California. I would lay down in the snow and watch the snowflakes come falling down. That's absolutely beautiful. Oh man, it snows so rarely here. That's absolutely beautiful. That's renewing too. That's a beautiful memory. Hey, admin. Good to see you. You're so right. It's refreshing. It was such an unreal feeling. Definitely inner child energy boost. For real, for real. And sometimes our inner child is calling. And sometimes us crying or going through these things, you might not even realize that you're doing it, but the inner child wounds need clearing. The inner child wound needs healing and needs attention. Some people don't believe in that. And so some things happen in our life is because we're neglecting the healing we need to give ourselves. Some people may agree with me, some people may not. Voidness still collects earthworms. Oh, he said some of his neighbors were wondering what he was doing in the middle of the night. Haha. That story made me laugh. I think that's beautiful that he does that. Oh man. I something else that made me feel like such a little girl. My dad, I'm really close to my dad. I am a daddy's girl. And so it's not um he was strict, but he was loving, he was there. We had this beautiful conversation where I'm not the type, I love time. My love language is quality time for any type of relationship I'm in. And I told him, I said, I don't remember what you got me for my 13th birthday. I don't remember what I wanted when I was 16 and what you got me, but I do know that you gave me time. You gave me memories of going to the park. Yes, he spent money on us. He took us places. He did things, but the greatest thing he did for me was spend time, and he's always been there. Whether I get emotional when I talk about my daddy, whether he agreed with my decisions or not. And I'm gonna say this to put this out there: in times past, not now, but in times past, my choosing of men is not a reflection on the father that I have. It was just on me not listening and being whatever. He's a, so anyway, he was out of the country for 3 months, and I was the one to go and pick him up. And as I was standing there in the airport, I'm like moving around, like I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I felt like I was 8 years old again, waiting for him to get off work. And as soon as he got, like, I didn't even give a crap. As soon as he got through the whatchamacallit door, I ran and I'm like, Daddy. And so our inner child still needs that. Our inner child still needs that. And sometimes we have to be the parent. Sometimes we have to parent our inner child because of the wounds that we face as children. That it was not our fault, you know? And so sometimes I talk to myself, or I talk to my inner child like she is one of my daughters. That's how I'm learning to heal. So I'm crying now because I feel so much love and gratitude in my heart right now. And you people right here that are joining me at this hour, I really feel blessed. And there are moments where I just want to stop YouTube. And then I have moments like this. And you guys are just beautiful rainbows after my storm. So let's see. Evidence of alcohol. Okay. Evidence of alcohol. Okay, I can't. I'm just gonna I'm really crying because I'm so grateful. I'm just gonna put the comments up there. I'm not gonna read them, okay? So, admin, thank you. Because he taught you. Daddies are very special. And you don't have to be a biological daddy to hold a daddy place in a child's heart. Because there are some men who aren't the biological dad that have held and hold such special places in kids' hearts, or even the adults. They're adults now, but their biological dad wasn't there. So someone else stepped in. And the same with moms, you know. I love you too, Michelle. I appreciate y'all. So that's, oh goodness, there's a few more. Oh, I'm happy to report that my inner child is still ageless. I love it. The heavenly body's got my energy all over the place. Oh no. Oh no. Ugh. Maybe that'll help being all over the place. I'm wanting for you to just find balance in that. Your inner child is kicking your ass. I'm not laughing. Access is your inner. I'm not laughing at that, but it's funny. It's amazing what our inner child may do to get our attention. When it's seriously that type, the energy of your inner child is like a child is a child. And I look at that in amazement because I look at my own kids. I look at my 4-year-old and I am amazed at the things he will do to get my attention. And sometimes he will do that and he will be like, all he wants is a hug. He'll be like, I just want to hug you, mommy. And I'm like, you did all that? And I'm like, boy, all you have to do is say, mommy, I want a hug, and I'll wipe my hands, or if I'm able to, 98% of the time, I'll hug on my babies. So, but it's amazing. So your inner child probably is kicking your butt for that much needed TLC and attention and healing. I know. Sometimes it's so weird. I was like, okay, I'm really about to get off here, but it's so weird for me. I feel like, I don't know, even though this year I'm going to be 40 and I love it. I'm so excited about turning 40. I'm excited about, I know people in my life that just absolutely have been 32 for the last 8 years, 32 for 10 years, and they refuse to grow. I am happy and excited for that growth. And, but anyway, I was walking out and my oldest child, she is almost as tall as me, you know, and my other one is just growing and my son is growing. And I'm like, dang, it feels weird. And we're going to my dad's house. I was like, it feels weird because I still feel like a teen. I was like, I was like, I still feel so young. And I'm like, I have kids. I'm like, these little people are calling me mom. I was like, it still feels weird because sometimes I still feel like a kid, a young person. So it is about, it's about how you feel, not your age. Even the moon feel foggy and wanting extra attention can't keep us apart. Oh, makes us upstars. Superstars in my book. I feel like a lost child daily. I can only imagine how weird they think we are. Yes, indeed. Let them think we're weird, child. People think I'm weird. I guess I'm like some weirdo. I guess I fit the description of some conspiracy theorists, hippie, tree hugging, Rastafarian, love spreading, crazy, naturalist, crystal tote bag toting, herb having hippie. So let them think they're weird. They think I'm weird. Oh, and cult. I forgot that. Apparently I'm in a cult. And I'm evil. The clip is going to be so much fun. I know. I hope I get to see it. Um, I was looking at the pathway and where I am in Texas. I should be able to see part of it. And I take this time as a renewing of energy. It's a heighten of energy, and it's either going to pull you down more negatively or it's going to bring you up in a positive way. That's how I look at things. It's a chance for renewal. It's a chance for regrowth, and it's a chance, speaking of the celestials, it's a chance for growth and renewal. So that's how I look at it. That's my perspective. That's how I look at it. I'm not asking anybody to look at it this way. But it's not something terrifying to me. It's not, oh, it's going to be the end, because some people are like, it's the end. I'm like, how many times has this been the end? How many times have they said, whatever. And, I do know here in Texas, they are closing some schools, but they're doing that because a lot of people are coming into Texas. A lot of people are coming to Texas, especially in the Metroplex area, to view this event. And so it's going to be high traffic. Parents aren't going to be able to get their kids. That's why they are closing some schools. It's not because, oh, it's going to be the end. And they told people, get what you need to get the day before, because it's going to, and they're ramping up in certain places that are really going to be able to see it. They're ramping up a lot of the police officers, a lot of the first responders, because there are going to be more people in these areas, and it's going to be more congestion in some areas that don't see that. So that's why they're doing those things. It's not because it's going to be the end. So anyway, okay, let's see. I was born and raised here in Texas, but I have, my dad is from West Africa. So, self-deletion. Oh my gosh, y'all all just made my night. I can go to bed, peaceful heaven. There are some people I would have loved to see, but seeing you just put a big smile on my face. I often think of you and I send love to you. You are just, thank you. Your energy gives out. Thank you for that. You're in Michigan? Will you be able to see it? Oh, Omar. Omar, child. People think I'm in the cold. People say I'm not going to make it into the kingdom. People think I am absolute evil. There are certain people that think I'm absolute evil and cringe, but it's okay. That's okay because our yes, child. I've been accused of being in so many different things, and I've been accused of actually leading people to damnation. Um, so but anyway, it's so good to see y'all. I'm gonna get ready to get off of here. It's been 45 minutes, and y'all know I'd be like, I'm not gonna be on here long. Okay, let me get off of here. I'll start talking again. Yap, yap, yap. That's what I do. I love to talk and seeing you guys that I haven't seen in a while. Man, it really makes me just y'all just gave me so much beautiful energy, and the rest of my weekend into next week is just going to be beautiful. I'm gonna keep putting out the shorts. I'm gonna, whether it's me saying a quote or my reaction to people's quotes of inspiration, motivation, or whatever. Some few tarot reads for those who are interested. I just to do the quick reads because I don't have time really to sit down and do a real read. I just don't. Um, oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. And then y'all didn't hear the choice words, so they use on me too. Okay. Have a sweet night. Good night, you beautiful souls. Thank you so much for being here, for giving of your time and your energy, even if you just stopped in for a moment. I have nothing but love for you guys. Please don't take whatever I said as if I'm speaking against you. I'm here for you, and I want you to realize that sometimes your storms can bring about change. I'm cheerleading. I want the best for you guys. I want us all to not be stagnant. I want us all to grow, and I want us all to stand in our own strength. And I don't want us giving our power to this freaking system. And I just want us to grow. So I want the best for you. And I want you all to shine brightly in your own light, and we shine bright together. So like Ian says, I love how he says, we're walking side by side, not one in front of the other. We're walking side by side. And that's how we ride here. Okay. Much love. Y'all have a good night. Good night, Axis. Good seeing you. And I will see y'all on the next live or see y'all in a short or whatever. Much love. Good night or good morning. Bye bye.